Good afternoon, everyone. Our first topic in applied economics is the nature and scope of economics. But before that, I'll remind you after this lesson, answer the activity and quiz that I posted in our Google Classroom. At the end of the lesson, you will be able to differentiate economics as social science and applied science in terms of nature and scope, and examine the utility and application of applied economics to solve economic issues and problems. Let's start our discussion with this quote. John Robinson says, "The purpose of studying economics is not to acquire a set of ready made answers to economic questions, but to learn how to avoid being deceived by economists." This statement suggests, or John Robinson want to say that the goal of learning economics is not just to memorize solutions to economic problems, but rather to understand how not to be misled by economists. Now let's define first economics. Economics, it is the study of scarcity and its effects on resource use, the creation of commodities and services, the expansion of production and welfare over time, as well as a wide range of other complicated concerns of vital importance to society. When we say economics, it is the study of how people make choices to satisfy their needs and wants with limited resources. Economics as social science. It is the study of human societies and the relationship among individuals within it. The behavior, scarcity, decision making, opportunity cost, and trade off, economics resources, the land, labor, capital, and entrepreneurship. In applied science, it involves using scientific knowledge to solve practical problems and create useful technologies. Economic model, diagram, equation, economic theory, and econometrics and theories. Applied economics. It is the insight gained from economic theory and research to make better decisions and solve real-world problems. It involves using economic theories and principles to address real-world problems and make practical decisions in areas such as business, policy, and finance. We have two fields of economics. The first one is macroeconomics. It is the study of markets of goods and services. It focuses on behavior of individuals in the market, explains how and why these units make economic. When we say microeconomics, it is the study of how individuals and small businesses make decisions regarding the allocation of resources and how these decisions impact prices and market. Under microeconomics, we have price determination. It is how the price of, for example, smartphones is determined by the interaction of supply and demand. If there is a high demand and limited supply, prices are likely to rise. The second, consumer behavior. Understanding how individual consumers decide on purchasing a smartphone based on their preferences, income, and other factors. Third, elasticity. Assessing how sensitive the quantity demanded or supply of smartphones is to changes in price. For example, if the price of smartphones increases, how much will the quantity demanded decrease? Fourth, the market structure. Examining the competitiveness of the market, such as whether it is a perfectly competitive market or if a few companies dominate the industry, affecting prices and choices available to consumers. In essence, microeconomics focuses on smaller units in like individuals, firms, markets, and their interaction within broader economic system. The second one in fields of economics is the macroeconomics. It is the study of the economy as a whole, focuses on aggregate indicators. Again, when you say macroeconomics, it is the study of the overall economy, focusing on the factors like inflation, unemployment, national income, and government policies that affect the economy as a whole. Macroeconomic deals with the broader aspect of economy. Here are some examples of macroeconomics concepts and phenomena. The first one is the GDP, or gross domestic product, examining the total value of all goods and services produced within a country over a specific time period. Second, unemployment rate. It is analyzing the percentage of the labor force that is unemployed and actively seeking employment. Third, inflation rate. Studying the rate at which the general price level of goods and services is rising, impacting the purchasing power of a currency. Fourth, the government fiscal policy, understanding how government taxation and spending policies influence the overall economy. Fifth, monetary policy, it is analyzing how central banks control the money supply and interest rates to achieve economic goals. Sixth, exchange rate. It is the studying the value of a country's currency in relation to other currency and its impact on international trade. Seventh, balance of payments. Examining the overall economic transactions between a country and the rest of the world, including trade balances and finances flaws. 8. Economic growth, assessing the increase in a country's production and income over time. In macroeconomic, it provides a holistic view of the economy, looking at aggregate outcomes and policies that impact the well-being of the entire population. Two types of macroeconomics. First, fiscal policy. Second, monetary policy. In policy, action undertaken by the government to stabilize the economy and include changes in government and tax rates. In policy, it refers to the government's use of spending and taxation to influence and manage the overall economy. Monetary policy, actions undertaken by the central bank to control the money supply and includes changes in interest rates or money supply. In monetary policy, it is the way a country's central bank manages the money supply and interest rates to control and stabilize the economy. Basic terms to understand economics: tangible goods and intangible goods. When we say tangible goods, material goods or commodities like physical products that can be touched, held, or seen, such as a car, book, or a piece of furniture. Intangible goods when they are in the form of services, products that have value but do not have a physical presence, such as services, intellectual property, or digital downloads. Goods may also classified according to use. Consumer goods, essential goods, capital goods, luxury goods, and economic goods. In consumer goods, goods for the ultimate consumption of the consumers. These are the products and items that individuals purchase and use for personal satisfaction or everyday needs. For example, toothpaste and bath soap. Next, essential goods used to satisfy the basic needs. These are the items that necessary for daily living and meeting basic needs such as food, clothing, and hygiene products. For example, foods and medicine. Capital goods used in the production of other goods and services. These are items, tools, and machinery that businesses use to produce other goods and services. For example, buildings, machinery, equipment. Luxury goods that man may do without but may give comfort and satisfaction. It refers to high quality, expensive, and often non essential goods or services that provide comfort and pleasure or prestige. For example, perfume, expensive cars, expensive bags, and last, economic goods. Goods which are useful and scarce with value attached to them and a price has to be paid for their use. These are products or services that have value and are scarce, requiring some form or of sacrifice or effort to obtain them. Economic resources or factors. In the article of Nowasic J. 2020 on identifying the factors of production, he defined economic resources as the factors of production for goods and services. The factors of production are inputs combination in the production of goods and services to make an economic profit for the firms. These factors of production are land, labor, capital, and entrepreneurship. Resources are limited in nature, but human wants and needs are unlimited. Thus, an efficient allocation of these resources or factors of production is a big challenge for every economy. Economics also helps the entrepreneurs and the economy to allocate resources in the production of supplies to meet the demands of the consumers. Land as a factor of production. It refers to natural resources and geographic space used for various economic activities. As a factor of production, it includes all natural resources like soil, water, and minerals used to make goods and provide services. Next, we have labor as production or as a factor of production. It represents the human effort, skills, and work contributed to the production of goods and services. It is the work done by people, education, skills, and motivation and productivity. Productivity measures how much each hour of worker time produces in output. Workforce receives wage for his labor. Labor, it refers to the human effort, skill, and time devoted to working in various economic activities to produce goods and services. Next, capital refers to the tools, machinery, equipment, and financial resources used in the production of goods and services. Capital as factor of production. Goods are capital, the money that companies use to buy resources, man made objects like machinery, equipment, and chemicals that are used in production. For example, capital goods include industrial and commercial buildings. A commercial aircraft is example of capital good, and it represents the tools, machinery, equipment that is used in the production of goods and services. And last, entrepreneurship. It involves the innovative efforts and risk-taking activities of individuals who organize and coordinate the other factors, land, labor, and capital, to create and run a business. It involves individual taking the initiative to organize resources, make decisions, and create new businesses venture for the production of goods and services. Entrepreneurship develops an idea into a business. An entrepreneur combines the other three factors of production to add to supply. The most successful entrepreneurs are innovative and risk takers. The income entrepreneurs earn is profits. Characteristic of resources. First, scarcity. It is the condition where resources are limited and there is an insufficiency to meet the unlimited human wants and needs. When we say scarcity, it is when there is not enough of a resource or resources to meet all the wants and needs of the human, leading to choices and trade offs. Second, multiple use. Resources can have more than one possible use. Multiple use implies the ability or suitability of something for various purposes or functions. And last, partially replaceable. One resources can replace another in the production of a good or service. Partially replaceable partially replaceable means that something can be substituted to some extent with something else in a given context. Scarce resources and unlimited desires. Scarcity Scarcity occurs because there are not enough resources to fulfill our unlimited desires and needs. Scarcity and alternative uses or choices. Scarcity and alternative uses lead to necessity of making choices due to limited resources and various ways they could be utilized. And choice opportunity cost. It is making a choice involves considering the opportunity cost, which is the value of the next best alternative that must be foregone. Thank you so much. That's all for today.